with the Karakin, the match for the world title. So basically the position is completely winning for white at the moment. Usually in any type of ending, we need to penetrate with the king. Otherwise we couldn't win the game. And here it's very easy to see how the king will penetrate, yeah? The move is very obvious. The simple way, just king g5, king can be stopped to go to h6, so basically the game is over. The simple way is something like that. With the idea king h6, g5, rook f8, rook h8, rook takes the pawn, and winning. Understand, yeah? Simply. Okay, that was still not big mistake. He did check. And now, the winning move is, he's still keeping, it's still okay. But now he made the same mistake like he did against Karakin. I'm gonna show you, very weird. He blocked his king. And now basically it's very easy draw, because white king can improve anymore. Basically black will has no any target now. Sorry, white will has no any target, black will has no any weakness now. That's why it's coming draw. The winning move was h5 now. King g5 now doesn't work because of king g7. Easy to see the pair. But king h5 it's again theoretical. Sorry, h5 it's again theoretical winning position. Anyway, white king will penetrate and h7 pawn become target. Also white pawn like to go to h6 later. Okay, so he played g5 and then the game finished draw. The rest of the game is basically completely not interesting. Now I like to show you the one of the most famous endings in this the same type of position, which was played many years ago and very famous. Let's just go immediately to one of the positions we need. Let's say they trade the rooks around here, yeah? Okay, soon they will gonna trade these pawns. a4. Let's see. Okay, now basically that's the ending we need. It's the same like Carlsen game. Just the pawns are different, not h7 and g6. But anyway, white king penetrate, that's why it's winning. Otherwise, usually these endings are draw. Especially if the pawn is on f7, it's a theoretical drawish ending. Just to have it here, because white king can penetrate. So how you can see, the game was played many years ago on the famous, the former world champion Michael Botvinnik, and I'm pretty sure that Carlsen knows this ending very well, and not only this, there are many examples, but it's very weird that he didn't play his game king g5, king h6. Okay, just to see here how white win, very easy. Now he prepared to play e5 to create a pass pawn, and now you can see that basically we can get the same ending. Carlsen can occur if you play g5 and pawn take h6. If Carlsen was played h5, let's come back to see here. Instead of g5, we get that basically the same ending. Also, just to repeat, much more easy win was king g5, king penetrate, and next, okay, let's just show to be easy for you, and next just king rook f8. Yeah, easy go. Any move it's winning, because if this rook move away, this is, I believe everybody knows it's easy winning ending. King gets cut, and then we create a bridge to promote a queen. Otherwise later rook f8 is coming, and rook h8, rook h7. So here let's just see the game, and very famous game g5, and now after king g6 game will be over, because white king penetrate and the pawn will be promoted, the e pawn. So Carlsen also had basically e pawn, but he played a weird move g5 and he couldn't penetrate.
What if rook a6 there and like
Where?
where the king's already on g8? Like you said, like here, like rook a6.
Rook a6.
Yeah, to try to win.
It doesn't change anything. I can take by check,
Mm-hmm.
and then where you going? Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I check first, and next I play king f6.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I can go here. It's also winning.
Okay. Yeah. I see.
But king f6 is more simple. And just to see how the game finished, now he promotes a queen. Check. If check, rook f6 always. Block that. Okay, this was one of the very famous examples. That's why I wanted to show, because Carson played few days ago. And now I believe everybody knows that game, but I just want to show you the game, the very famous game. After that, Carson became very nervous in the match he played against Karakin, yeah, not long time ago. Let's find the game. Carson, Karakin. No, Carson was black actually that game. Sorry. More easy like that, yeah. Karakin against Carson. I didn't find in advance. Now we will find. To see that he repeat basically the same mistake, what was very weird for me. That was the world match game number 4. So let's find one. Probably this should be one. This should be 2, yeah.
This is where he didn't get the fast pawn, keep it on the outside. Where he
Can you
took the
repeat?
pawn and took towards the center with the pawn.
And now, yeah, let's get this, the very famous ending. And basically here happened the same mistake. You're gonna see he improved, and now he played f4.
Instead of taking the pawn.
The same mistake like he did against Nakamura. Now basically the king can't penetrate anymore. You will see why. Because knight is going to f2. And now it's easy to see that black king has no any idea to penetrate from somewhere. Is that clear?
You try.
And you have to remember that without king penetration, king have to support the passed pawn. Otherwise we never can promote a queen, yeah? One piece never can promote a queen. That's why we need to support the passed pawn with 2 pieces. Most often depends of the ending, it's king and rook, or king and bishop, or king and depends of the ending. So f4, the same mistake, any other move is winning. Especially for 2 bishops, it's famous that bishops need a diagonals, open diagonal, they're becoming more powerful. That's why very weird decision to keep the position more close instead to trade the pawns, and also the king can't penetrate anymore.
So how do you explain these mistakes?
What he told after this game, yeah, that he never believed in the faultless. That's why basically he think any move is winning.
Mm-hmm.
But that's very weird, because king activity is the most important in the ending, yeah? If it's in the beginning game or middle game, then we need king safety.
Mm-hmm.
But in the ending, if we have king into the battle, we have like extra piece, yeah? So we're gonna win that battle. That's why we need the king. And now I just, for example, like to show one ending which I like a lot. So let's, we don't need anymore these examples of Carson. I was curious that he repeated the mistake very quickly. He made in the work match. And I let, wait, I couldn't see, I let here. That example here, not there, sorry. I let there, but I let everything, sorry, here. And that was almost last game. No, Nakamura Carson, Butwinik. Very well, okay. You see, I can't remember now, but here I have for sure, because I sent this one. And let's see now, he got this ending soon. Okay, I like to start from here. Okay, this ending looks very drawish, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like that, but it's completely winning for black. But let's first recognize why black are better than what we have to do to win. It's easy to see that black are better because they're the most active side. Yeah, this bishop is kind of active piece, can attack the pawns, yes, which are completely blocked on dark square. This is the permanently, yeah, these pawns can move away. And this bishop basically never can attack anything because this pawn can go easy to a6. That's why black are better. But to try to push eventually and to convert to full point, what black should do? Anybody has idea? Eventually,
King over the queen side and break through.
yes, we need to penetrate somehow with the king. Otherwise, there is no way to win. Okay, before to start to
Right. Bishop,
improving the king, we need to improve the bishop.
right. Bishop g5 doesn't work, and
It's
sacking on
just-
h4 doesn't work. To make faster.
But what's the idea?
Okay. Bishop
But why
g5
to?
check.
But why to? Yeah, it's a one check. But then how you like to win?
Then bishop h4. Because he's
and
gonna,
then,
he's gonna
and then
cover
how
that.
you want to
Doesn't
win?
work.
First of all, I can go there, but let's say I go here. No, there you win. Okay.
Right.
And how you like to win now? My king is in the quadrangle. I'm going to f1 and to
Okay.
g1.
So, it's fine.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Gold to
Okay,
the-
but look, endings usually, guys, are not for tactics. Yeah, tactics usually help the strategy. That means we need to build yet. So he improved the bishop first before to improve the king. Easy to see. This is the better place for the bishop, attacking g3 and preventing king to attack the own pawn. And now it's easy to see black king can move, yeah, because f4 square is covered by the bishop. King is going on another side. And now, what we need to do next? It looks difficult to penetrate, yes?
Need to put him in a zugzwang probably.
But if you put in the zugzwang, how you penetrate? That's the question. What we have to do to penetrate? We have to,
Trade bishops.
no, if we trade the bishop, let's say probably we can win, probably. But generally, guys, before to trade pieces, you should ask yourself a simple question. Which piece is more active? Easy to see that black bishop is more active than one. That's why probably the trade good piece for black should be not good
But you
idea.
do have the 2 extra tempi with a6 and a5.
Is that clear? So basically trading the bishop will be bad idea for black. So that's why we need to remove this guy from there, and then we'll have more squares to penetrate, and for white will be difficult to cover all of them. What basically Carlsen needs to do in both games, here alone block his king to not penetrate. If he moves like that, we can play a3. I believe a3 is better move immediately, but it's not big deal. Creating a pass pawn, it's winning. Deflecting the king. We can start immediately with a3. Anyway, after we deflect this king can come back all the way eventually to e4. Understand, yeah? So that's why basically he has to take. It's not so important what he'll play, anyway we will achieve the same position. And now, how you see, he couldn't basically cover all squares to penetrate, because we have 3 squares, b4, c4. If he play king c2, we'll just continue to penetrate, and we like to back king b4. If king c3, bishop b4, and now g3 pawn is handing, he's kind of zugzwang. Only move it's eventually this, and then king b4, and it will happen the same like into the game. That was the game. Let's come back now to the game. Bishop f2, immediately king b3. That was the game. Next, king penetrate as more as possible. So how you see, starting from beginning position, let's say for 10 or 15 moves, black king make huge way, starting from f5, look impossible, but move all the way to go to the enemy position. And now the next step is somehow to penetrate even more to win that guy, yes? So it's not so difficult. Here is simple calculation. We should make him zugzwang. He started with that move, we can do from other way, it's also completely winning, bishop g5. Let's say here, very important to cover f4 all the time. The point is that if he moved the bishop, then we move the king. Yeah, that's easy to see. That clear? Kings like to go, if you move the bishop, king is going slowly to f3, and next somehow we will play bishop before bishop e1. Understand, yeah? Somehow he couldn't stop our bishop to go via e3 or d2 to e1. We will make him somehow probably choose one. Here maybe we can go your idea, yeah, bishop h4. The point is that I like to go bishop g5, bishop e3, bishop f2, yeah, that's why I tried bishop f4. And in the game, he tried king e3, check here, and now very, very beautiful move. Let's see, can you find a nice idea for black? Basically the last finesse in the position.
Bishop g5 looks quite
Bishop looks good as well.
Bishop g5, probably bishop e3 will come. The same. He played bishop d2, very interesting move. Basically make the white king stalemate. Black has no choice, sorry, white has no choice. They should play bishop e3. Now trading bishop doesn't work because king f4 is going next. Yes, easy to see. That will be a mistake, how we mentioned already, because king attack now. But bishop e1 is good enough. And now bishop stuck the king, cover e3 square and attack d4. If bishop e3 now is different, now we can go with the king, how you can see. It's a huge difference. And now we win, we don't take, yeah. I mean, he couldn't move the king, but let's say he can try to wait, but anyway our king is going to g2, yeah, you can see this. How was that? He played bishop there, and now king is simply going to f1, g1, and g2. And he gave up because he took one and losing either this guy, either the other one. So how you see, that's why I like it, the example. Look, you can see the last position. Let's say this is move 63, and let's see where we start. We start around after this move. So basically this is 42 for 20 moves. How you see, black king was going all the way around to go to f3, from f5 to f3, because that was the faster way now. So
Beautiful
basically
endgame.
what you should remember, not always the shorter way is the faster one, yeah? How you can see he move all the way around to go to f3, because the white king was covering all the square from here. And that's why we needed to trade this pawn, was very key idea. That's why when you playing endings, what you have to think is mainly, can the king penetrate? And when we are defending sides, it's the same. If you don't let the opponents to penetrate with the king, then we're gonna hold the ending. That's why probably all of you know the passive defense always lose, like in this ending. This bishop is basically passive move. Bishop never can get activity, he can't attack anything. That's why the ending is completely losing. Active defense make a draw. Yeah, I believe all of you heard about this. And passive defense always lose. So this example, it's very good to understand why passive defense always lose. Somehow there will be a way how to penetrate. Very often to penetrate even we need to sacrifice a piece. There is a very famous example. Maybe most of you know the famous Fischer. There are many famous, but I wanted to mention Fischer against Taimanov. Yeah, let's try to find. Very famous when he penetrated with the king, but in the end he needed to sacrifice a piece to create a pass pawn. Sooner or later we have to create a pass pawn, otherwise we couldn't win the game. Yeah. Just to have idea, it very often looks like faultless, but there is no faultless because passive defense always look. Let's find that game. Fischer was white, just to show you. Just remember to have more ideas. Against Taimanov, yes? Taimanov. Always like that. Let's find the very famous match. Yeah, finish with 6-0 for Fischer. Let's just find that game. Ah, it's here already. Let me see which one of all games. Not this one. This one. So we'll need white. Okay, we can start a little bit early because Fischer did great job very quickly. He provoked. That is the most important move for all ending. The point is that he fixed black pawn. Doesn't matter that he let the pawn on the same corner like his own bishop. They did it later. White king can penetrate with b5 and a6. Kind of, he created the highway for his king, let's say, for future. And now he's trying on the king side to create some weaknesses or pass pawn eventually. Very good move. It's already difficult to give suggestion. If g6, of course, you can know that will come f5 and king penetrating. Yeah, that's why black decided to keep the position more close. That it's easy to understand because knight is better than bishop generally in close position. That's why black like to avoid to trade the pawns. And now, guys, we need to penetrate with the king. That's why Fischer traded the rooks. Otherwise, he couldn't penetrate with the king. Just to have the idea that without penetration, it's no way to win the endings usually. King is the most important piece into the endings. Remember this. And now it's more or less okay. It's never easy, but white has clear idea. They're going with the king, and then we have to make him Zugzwang. And now it's not easy to make him Zugzwang. That's why he's maneuvering very well. Check. And now he should go to c7, otherwise he's really Zugzwang. And king will go to c6. Easy to see, eh? King there, any move, or just bishop move somewhere, and next move is king to c6 and game is over. And now we have to penetrate, yes? But now how to make him Zugzwang? Let's try to see. It looks like Zugzwang, yeah? If we move the king, we take the pawn. If he move the knight, we take the pawn. But look that black are lucky, yeah? They are attacking the bishop, and next move they're gonna come back. So white can't improve anymore. But how I mentioned already, passive defense always lose. That's why there will be a way how to break the faultless. And I told you very often we need to sacrifice a piece. Otherwise we couldn't create a pass pawn. Yeah? Anyway, sooner or later we need to create a pass pawn to win. In the ending we couldn't checkmate the king before to promote a queen. That's why we need a pass pawn always. And now the game is completely winning. This pass pawn is going for a queen now. I tried the same today, but my opponent was lucky. We didn't have extra pawn, only I have 2 pawns versus knight. It's a draw. Early today, here Fischer has extra pawns, and after he gonna sacrifice the knight for 2 pawns, it's losing. Because if there are no pawn, this is easy draw, yeah? King is going to the corner. But that doesn't work like that, and how you see? Good example by Fischer. But just what you have to remember, basically, in the endings, passive defense always do somehow. But you need to improve your king. King has to become attacking piece, active piece, otherwise we'll be drawn. If without king in the ending, we couldn't win the battle.
What is meant by passive defense? I do not understand.
Passive defense is like this example. You never can attack anything. Here, let's start from here. No, after trading the rooks. Knight never can become active piece. That's it's a passive defense.
Oh.
I will show you to see the difference. And the previous example was Kramnik, yeah. That was here because I prepared Kramnik. Look, white pieces never can attack anything, yeah. Even if they try, we can put here. Can white pieces attack something? Can this bishop attack anything? No. This means this bishop is forever passive piece. Can be improved. You can let the bishop, let's say, to fantastic square, but it's anyway passive because it's defending only. Is that clear? This bishop is only defender. He never can become attacking piece. That clear?
Yes.
And now to be more easy to understand, let me show one game of so far my best students to be clear for you. Passive defense and active defense. Okay, I will find the game. Because I'm in mega database, yeah? No. Just a second. To be very clear for you. He played last year in the World Championship. Let me find. India, okay. Probably this game, yeah? No, it's not this one. No, it's this one basically. No, not this one, sorry. One rook ending was there. That was the last round. No, but this one. This one. Okay, here material is completely equal, but black are completely winning because of the active pieces. So, white rook is passive defense, can become active piece, that's why passive defense always lose. Equal, material is equal, but it's completely losing position. It's famous, why? Because it's outside pass pawn. This king can go to win that pawn, but we don't really care because we are going on the other side. Probably, I believe everybody knows simple pawn ending, that outside pass pawn always win. And the ending is completely winning because of the passive defense. But we're gonna change now something to see the difference. That was the game. So just look this position where material is completely equal. With equal material but with passive pieces, we are losing because of passive defense. That clear? Now I'm gonna set up, insert, position setup. No. Let's say this position. Now we'll get king there, and there. Absolutely the same position. Just, guys, we're gonna change the rooks. And now this is a theoretical drawish position. Doesn't matter that black has extra pawn. Because in the rook ending, you should know that the best place for rook is behind the pass pawn. Doesn't matter the active side or the passive side. Rook have to be behind. And this is a draw because of the active defense. White rook is the active one, that's why it's a theoretical drawish position. Anand hold against Carson the last tournaments, played like 5 days ago was the game. The same, exactly the same position we can find. Just to see the difference. With powerless, active defense hold, with equal material from the previous example, passive defense lose, yeah? Just to see the difference. Here we have powerless, but we will hold. The other position was equal material, but we are completely losing. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, more question? Do you have, or somebody else?
Yeah, I guess I would want you to explain the difference between the passive defenses that aren't working here and the passive defense that did work when he built the blockade.
how to blockade. What's
Well, no,
like
if you build
fortress?
it in the fortress, yes. In the fortress,
But
you play
basically-
passive defense.
No, fortress is basically active defense, always.
Well, because he kept the king
You
out, which is why
you
he was
can
able to draw.
attack. No. This, let's say, one theoretical drawish ending.
Well, I was talking about the specific example you gave.
Usually the fortress are when you can attack. Usually the theoretical drawish are when you can have the active defense. Let's say this is a
Well, I
famous.
wasn't disagreeing with that. I was just asking you to explain the difference between the passive defense that Karyakin had when he put his knight on F2, stopping him from getting into E4.
But
Right?
that
I mean-
was a fortress because the king can penetrate. And okay, this is an active defense. It's theoretical draw. It's active defense because we can attack the king usually. Check, and we have some threats. That's why it's a. I believe everybody knows it's a draw. White king can penetrate. Sorry, black king can penetrate. White can just move the king, or let's say move the rook. But no, usually we just move the king. It's more simple. But it's the same. Anyway, the king can penetrate. The castle hold there because the king can penetrate. King
Right.
can enter to the game to become active piece, yeah?
Right.
And he defends with knight, bishop, and king versus two bishop, basically.
But he
How
never
they-
made a threat in that game afterwards. He
That's-
just sat, which is kind of a passive defense. And I was just hoping you could explain the difference between.
Yeah, but his piece is becoming kind of active because they're not letting the king to penetrate. Yeah, when we have, let's say, opposition, very simple draw game, basically, it's the same. We have this, okay, let's say king there, this, and this is kind of the active defense because now, let's say black to move. You're
So you're
keeping-
saying part of an active defense
it's
is
kind of,
preventing
yeah,
the
you are
person
not
from
letting
doing-
the king to penetrate.
It's an
It's
active
kind
defense.
of active defense.
It's an active defense.
If the king can't penetrate because you're keeping the king passive, enemy king can.
So an active
And
defense-
that's mean, yeah, if the enemy king is passive, how to. win
Right. So
the
you're
game.
saying part of an active defense is
Yeah,
preventing
so
the person's
It's
getting
kind
to
of
F2.
draw
Okay.
because you are keeping the enemy king enough passive, yeah. Kind of. So usually the endings to know most of the theoretical draw ending, not most of them. We are keeping
All right,
kind
thank
of
you.
active defense. Yeah, the opponent can make any progress. But usually, if the opponent is we are passive, opponent always will find a way how to improve his pieces. Understand? Yeah. Okay. More question do you have?
What do you recommend to become better at endgames in general?
Oh, that's difficult questions. First of all, you have to study them, yeah, and also study, practice. But how you see, even the best player making mistake, yeah. Carson is good example. He made such a